And welcome to Glaze of the Week, brought to you by SereneCeramics, and I'm your host, Sean Jackson. Welcome in to our live stream here. We have a glaze recipe ready for you today. Nice, golden, juicy one, and one that won't cost you an arm and a leg. It's not a luster. It's a standard glaze recipe. Well, I wouldn't say standard at all. This glaze has got quite the shine to it. It's a beautiful, beautiful gold glaze. It is actually an earthenware glaze, so it's a cone 03. That's an Orton cone 03. In Celsius, it's at 1100 degrees Celsius, and in Fahrenheit, for our lovely American viewers, it's about 2014 degrees Fahrenheit. Listening in, that's Orton cone 03. So what does this glaze, what is this glaze? This is a glaze. It's a metallic earthenware glaze. And let me, first, before we go straight into the glaze, first I want to introduce to you, since this is our first time, I want to introduce to all of you our new series of ebooks. It's a magazine style ebook. I just called it Glaze. That's it. I've started writing this up recently, and I've been creating articles, quite a few different articles. I'll show you through basically. Basically each one has a different topic. So we have one on Oribe glazes, one on Shino glazes, one on Celadon glazes, one on crystalline glazes, and each one also has their own specific range. So you've got a book focused on like cone 10 Oribe glazes, and another book on cone 6 Oribe glazes, for example. And basically I was trying to rack my brain for a name for it, and I couldn't come up anything more creative than Glaze. So we've got this series of ebooks that I'm working on, recipe books for all of you guys, and these will be available through our Patreon page. So enough of that. Basically I'll show you one that I'm working on for these metallic glazes. So this is our, I know it says top 10, but I'm gonna have at least 10 in each. And then I'm going through my whole collection, all my books, all my glaze notes, through my research over the past 13 years that I've been developing and working with glazes. So this one, we're working on cone 03 metallic glazes, and the one today that I have ready for you is this one. So basically I've named it Gold Brick. There are similar commercial glazes at the moment around, like one's called Goldine that you might have seen around in Australia. This is almost identical, and then this is the list that we have here. Bear in mind that this is not a food safe glaze. It's not food safe at all. Do not use this at all with any type of food, not even as a fruit bowl. Leave it around for that. It's a purely decorative glaze. You do have to apply it quite thickly to get the best results. The thicker you apply it, the more metallic and deep that goldness will come across. It is also a very runny glaze, so bear in mind, keep that in mind when you apply it. It will run, but you do need that thickness to give that lustrous goldish goodness to it. So yeah, it's a mix of different Fritz and feldspars, and then to get its coloration, it's a mix between manganese, copper, and nickel. And then obviously we have some titanium in there. The titanium is not just to give it its opacity, but also it helps trigger that crystallization of those different oxides. So it enables them to create those micro crystallized effects, and it gives it that goldish goodness to it. So it not just doesn't help the opacity, it also helps the coloration. So yeah, this is our beautiful gold glaze. These Glaze of the Week episodes are going to be fairly short, but again, we have our interviews on Monday, which are quite long. So I thought this is an extra little bit of goodish glazes goodness brought to you by your host Sean Jackson on Serene Ceramics. I'll give you a little sneak peek of what the test tile does look like. You have this texture on the glaze. It has almost like a you see that texture coming through at the angle. It's not a cracking, it's sort of like a orange peel where the glaze, it's perfectly flat, but it just has that slight like a wrinkle on the surface of the glaze. And you can't actually see the lustriousness coming up on it. I know my notes here say Goldine, but I only wrote that because it's almost identical to the original one. But yeah, check it out, give it a try, give it a test. As with any other glaze recipe, you must test, and retest on your glaze test tiles first. Make sure it matches your clay body, and make sure that it fits and that it fires, and make sure you do those test firings first before you apply it to your final piece. That way you'll be able to know whether it's able to properly come across, whether it's the right color you're looking for, and also it'll give you an identification or an idea as to how it will perform during the firing. So yeah, if it's going to run right off your test tiles, when you actually apply it to your piece, you actually need to apply it higher to give it room for it to move. But yeah, also test it out with some texture. As you can see in this one, I put some lines across on this test tile piece. So it does pick up some texture, but it will fill in that texture quite easily. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this glaze recipe, and this is the first of many glaze recipes to come here on your channel, your host, Sean Jackson. I hope I have been able to enjoy and give a bit of spark to your day.